What up, B Squad? It's your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with another They Couldn't Have Fooled You guys. So this is going to be number, I don't know what number we're on, but whatever number we're on, this is They Couldn't Have Fooled. So before we go ahead and get into it, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's talk about what they tripping on this week, shall we? So this is number 30 of They Couldn't Have Fooled. Okay. Now, you know, They Couldn't Have Fooled. I try to keep this to 30 minutes or less. So this is what we're going to try to do today. And it's really only one story that I'm going to talk about in They Couldn't Have Fooled, and everything else will be in Let's Get Into the Blogs. So this is going to be me discussing this situation with B.Simone. Now, the last time I've really had a conversation about B.Simone, it was when she plagiarized that planner that she had. That was the last time that I talked about B.Simone, because I don't care to speak on her too much, and because I don't see it for B.Simone. I'm not a fan. I don't find her funny. She's very cringy to me, right? Because this week she's been doing a whole lot of cringy things. The cringiest thing that I saw from B.Simone this week, which this is not what I came on here to talk about, but one thing is, so, you know, I guess she got a podcast and her best friend was on, and I'm going to use air quotes when I say her best friend, because that ain't your best friend, and like neither one of y'all are best, well, no, that girl is not B.Simone's, well, B.Simone is not that girl's best friend. But B.Simone in this clip that I saw, didn't watch the full podcast, so I'm not going to speak on the whole entire podcast. I'm just going to speak on the clips that I saw. So in one clip, she was talking about the fact that, you know, she was so used to shopping at Bloomingdale's, right? And then she went in Bloomingdale's one day, and I guess she didn't have, you know, adequate funds in her account to shop in Bloomingdale's, so she had to then go and shop at H&M, right? And I was like, why do we need to know this? Number one. Number two, okay, what does that mean to me, right? Then after that, B.Simone, throughout the course of the week, she's been trolling her. I'm gonna use air quotes when I say her fans too, right? She's been trolling people because she's been going to different stores like, is my car gonna go through? Her brand of comedy is not really funny to me, but I mean, she's amassed a following. Can I hate on it? No. But that's what she's been doing all week. She's been trolling people. And I'm like, why? Why? But again, I'm not a fan of B.Simone's. I just don't see it for B.Simone, right? And it's interesting to me, right? Because when you think about people like B.Simone, you think, I'm not going to say other names, but to me, it's interesting because remember when Vine and it was Vine and it was something else, but a lot of these people who came to fame through Vine and all that kind of stuff, those short form videos, they were funny in short form, but to like do comedy shows and things of that nature, they prove that they're really not funny, right? Again, I'm not gonna say names, but you guys know some people that I've said that I don't find funny, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But so in this podcast with her friend, so her friend was talking about, you know, some struggles that she had experienced in I guess in the last few months or last year, and Jesus, like that's all B.Simone kept saying, Jesus. But listening to, so on this podcast, Her friend is talking about how her car got repossessed. She was struggling financially, right? And what I will also say is there are some people who choose to be private about things that they're going through. They don't necessarily want to tell you what they're going through. But at the same time, I think you can always tell when you have a friend or family member or anybody that you are close to. I think you can tell when your loved one, and I'm gonna use air quotes because I don't know if this girl is a loved one of B.Simone's, because listening to this, I just can't imagine that she is. I can't imagine that she is, right? But like I said, when you think about it, right? Not everybody, not all. Let me say this. For me, when I was going through my financial situation, right? I didn't tell everybody. I had family members who knew. I had some friends who knew, and people. I had people who would help me at that time. But this thing with B.Simone, so they were talking about, just because your best friend is a celebrity, and I'm paraphrasing, you don't always reap the benefits of being that person's best friend, right? And I'm gonna read you guys. I'm reading this from the Jasmine brand. So it says, during a recent episode of B.Simone's podcast, I guess her name is Shekinah. If I'm saying her name wrong, correct me. Opened up about her financial struggles over the past year. She says she was unemployed, a single mom living with her parents, and had her car repossessed. However, what got people talking is Shekinah revealing that she didn't receive any help from her bestie, B.Simone. And it says, quote, to have resentment in my heart towards you, B, because I saw you do for other people. I saw you give a check to somebody to help them through whatever they went through. Nobody didn't give me a handout, but guess what? That wasn't your responsibility, she said. She continued, God had to take me through that for my own season, for my own thing. I had to get my car repossessed. I had to go through the food stamp line. I had to be on Medicaid. As a friend of somebody who has it, it's hard to digest. And that's where I struggle with, right? Because here's my thing. Is it B.Simone's job to take care of this girl? No, it's not. It's not. But I always feel like this because I don't even have the most money I don't have the most money in the world. But anytime my family, my friends, they reach out to me and they like, oh, I need this, I need that. If I have it, I give it to them. Sometimes even if I know that I don't 100% have it like that, and I can, and I feel like, okay, I'm comfortable enough to spare it because either, I'm working Uber this week and I can make that money back, or I'm getting my paycheck from my job. This is my week where I don't, this is my 1 week where, what am I trying to say? This is the week where, after we get paid. So, because I get paid bi-monthly. So it's like, okay, this is the week where, I ain't got nothing to do this week, so yeah, I can spare it and I get paid again next weekend, especially if it's like the check on the 15th of the month. That's my check where I can be like, yeah, this is my free check where I don't really have anything to do with. I don't have anything to do because most of my bills are due at the end of the month, right? So I use my end of the month check to take care of rent, electricity, my lights and all that kind of stuff, phone bill, all that, internet, all those things, which I gotta find a way to get that. I need to call some of them and ask them like, hey, can we move some of these bills to the end of the middle of the month? Hell, I might pay them at the middle of the month, but neither here nor there, right? But like I said, even if I don't 100% have it, I'm somebody that is very giving to my family and to my friends. And to hear your friend say she was in the food stamp line, her car got repossessed. But then at the same time, your friend said that she saw you give people checks. But this is your best friend. How do you, again, is B.Simone obligated to give her friend any money? Absolutely not. She's not obligated to give the woman anything. But as your best friend, I would expect for you. No, no, no. Let me take that out. Let me not say I would expect, because I don't expect anything from anybody, right? But as my best friend, I would think as my best friend. But again, let me not even say that, because sometimes people, people put more stock in other relationships than, because some people, they don't treat their best friends like a best friend. They'll treat a stranger better than they, some people treat a stranger better than they would their family and their best friends. So let me not say that. Let me not say that. Let me clean that up too. Let me put myself in it. Me personally, I'm not going to treat my best friend differently than I would a stranger. I really wouldn't. Because here's my thing. If you giving money to Tim, Tom, and Jane, but your friend over here struggling, the least, the least that I would do for my friends is be like, you know what, I may not be able to help you with, rent or anything, but hey, let me give you X amount of dollars so that way you can have food for you and especially your baby. Let me make sure that you and your baby are good to have something to eat. Let me, hey, I can't give you all the money for your rent, your mortgage, whatever. I can't give you all the money for that, but I'll spot you something, right? And in my particular situation, right, I've loaned money to people, and there's one person in particular that I've loaned some money to over the last year and got it back, right? And I'm not tripping about it, right? Because I did that stuff out of the kindness of my heart. I help somebody keep from a car getting repossessed, but I help a friend keep a car from getting repossessed. And that's the thing. Even if you don't like, and B.Simone got more money than I got in my bank account, and your best friend talking about her car got repossessed, she was in the food stamp line. Girl, you can take your friend out to eat. You can take your friend and her child out to eat. You can take your friend to if you don't want to pay, if you don't give her nothing on the rent, I understand that, right? If you don't want to help her keep her car so that way she can at least look for employment and get around, I understand, that's fine too. But at least help with, you can do something nice for your friend. But again, am I saying B.Simone is obligated to do anything for this person? She's not. She's not obligated to do anything for anybody. But, I always find it funny people who can always, take from people, but don't give. If you stay closed off, if you stay, I was watching Funky, and I've heard this saying before too, that Funky said, right? People who have a hand like this, nothing goes in it, nothing comes out. I've heard that saying before. But you have to remember, we both from the South, we're Southern. I've heard that saying before. A closed fist, if you keep a closed fist to people, ain't nothing you might not be letting stuff go out. But at the same time, nothing's coming in. And that's why, I'm somebody, like I said, even if I, even if someday I make it big and have X amount of money, right? I'm not gonna let that money change me, because I remember what it's like to not have anything, be down on my luck, and basically, yes, at one point I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? If I really wasn't, it just felt that way. But hey, and I question this girl still being friends with B.Simone, because here's the thing, like I said earlier, some people don't reveal everything to their friends, but if this girl revealed to B.Simone the stuff that she was going through, and B.Simone completely ignored her, but helped other people out instead of your friend who's telling you she's going through these things, then why are you still friends with her? And I think that that's another thing. People are friends, sometimes people becomes friends with people for proximity to certain, get access and be in proximity to certain things. I don't give a fuck who you are, what circles you run around in, what parties you go to. that don't put food in my, put food in my pantry, that don't put clothes on my back, that don't provide me a roof over my head, a bed to sleep in, clean, running water, a stove to cook, all that kind of stuff. That don't do nothing. That don't do nothing for me. Going to these parties, getting dressed up, like that shit don't do nothing for me personally. And so that friendship would have dissolved. Really would have dissolved, right? Like I just like my good friend who I work with, right? When I was there was one point, and it wasn't that I was down on anything, right? I just didn't have a car at the time. My friend came and got me one day, and she was like, she's like, hey, I'm in your area and I'm running some errands. She's like, she's like, you want to get out? And it was a weekend too, right? She's like, you want to go with me? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you. So we go do the errands and everything, and we stop and get something to eat. And she was like, what do you want? I was like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm good. She was like, I'm not gonna say my first name, but some of y'all might know my first name, but whatever. She was like, it's okay. She was like, I got you. I was like, I can't even ask you to do that for me. She was like, you're not asking me to do it. She's like, she's like, I got the money. I want to do it. And so I ordered my food and she paid for it. And, I was saying to her, I'm like, I appreciate you for paying for my food for me. Like, I was like, when I get paid next week, like, I'm gonna pay you back. And she was like, I'm not asking you to pay me back. She was like, I did this because that's what I wanted to do, right? And I was like, thank you so much. I'll even give you guys another story about something that she did for me. And this is because I didn't tell anybody about this, but there was one time in my second apartment that I had, right? It was a February. It was February. I think it was February. I don't remember the year, but I know Celebrity Big Brother was on. It was actually the finale of Celebrity Big Brother when Tamar won, right? So what happened is I was sitting in my apartment because what happened is one, I literally forgot the due date for my light bill. So I forgot the due date, and then at that time also, when it was due, I hadn't got paid, right? So I didn't have the money. So my check didn't come until that Friday, and I was like, fuck. I was praying to God, like, please don't let them cut my damn lights off, because I'm like, if I can make it to Friday, then I can pay it and we'll be fine. And I told my friend, because she said something to me, and I forgot how it even came up. But I just revealed to her, I was like, yeah, my lights are out, been out for a few days. And she was like, you should have said something to me. And she actually ended up giving me the money to pay the light bill. And I was like, I appreciate you so much for doing that. Because like I said, I was literally just waiting and I told her, I'm like, I'll pay you back. I was like, my check hits on Friday, I'll get you the money. And I did. I paid her back on that Friday. So I say all that to say, one, Shekinah, however you pronounce her name, B.Simone is not your real friend. Because even my friends who we are in the same tax bracket as each other, right? My friends, my family have gone above and beyond for me, and I go above and beyond for my friends and my family as well. We don't let each other struggle, but then it also goes to having a community of people who you love, cherish, and respect. I don't necessarily believe that, excuse me, y'all. I don't necessarily believe that with B.Simone and with this young lady that there is any kind of community there. I just really don't. Maybe there is, but I just don't think anybody with a heart would allow somebody would let your friends go through that. I can't imagine that. But hey, I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this whole situation with B.Simone and her friend, and let me know. Just tell me. You guys don't have to get personal with me. I chose to get personal with you guys. Just to make it land, right? But I want you guys to definitely tell me what you think, what you feel, and we will go ahead and end this video right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into let's get into the blogs, you guys. So we do this. Well, I don't really have a set time for They Couldn't Have Fool. I try to do it at the. My goal has always been to have it at the middle of the week, but here lately, you know, it ain't been at the middle of the week. It's at the end of the week, but it is what it is. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, do me a solid favor, you guys. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.